This is it, the blueprint, the exact list of what Congress is actually allowed to do under the Constitution. Article 1, Section 8 doesn't leave it open for interpretation. It's the permission slip, the operating manual, the chains that were meant to bind the federal beast. So let's go line by line, because if you don't know these powers, you'll never spot the ones that they're abusing. Congress can tax, but only for three things: to pay debts, to provide for the common defense, and to promote the general welfare. This clause is not a blank check. It's not for art grants, bailouts, or funding gender studies in foreign countries. James Madison made it clear: the general welfare was not a catch all. It meant what was generally beneficial to the whole nation, not just a voting bloc. Congress can borrow money, but we weren't supposed to live on credit. Alexander Hamilton called public credit the lifeblood of national strength, but he warned against unlimited debt. He wrote, "A national debt, if it is not excessive, will be to us a national blessing." The problem? Ours is very much excessive, over $34 trillion and growing. One of the most misunderstood and abused powers, the Commerce Clause, lets Congress regulate trade with foreign nations, trade between states, and trade with Native American tribes. It was meant to stop states from putting up trade barriers, not to give Congress a green light to control everything from agriculture to healthcare. Thomas Jefferson feared this kind of mission creep. He warned, to take a single step beyond the boundaries thus specifically drawn is to take possession of a boundless field of power. Congress sets the rules for how someone becomes a citizen, naturalization, and how bankruptcy is handled. It also gets to coin money and punish counterfeiters. Back then, we were moving from a system of state currencies and Spanish silver to a unified national currency. The goal? One stable system, not inflation, not printing trillions out of thin air. Post offices and roads. Yes, those are in the Constitution. Infrastructure that connects the people was always considered a core function of government. But Congress also has the power to protect intellectual property, to secure authors and inventors the right to their creations, a nod to liberty and innovation in one. Congress creates the lower courts. The Constitution only requires one Supreme Court. Everything else is Congress's choice. That includes circuit courts, district courts, and even some tribunals. This matters because Congress has the power to restructure the judicial system, and they've used that power plenty. The bulk of Section 8 is about defense, because protecting the people is one of the few legitimate federal responsibilities. Congress has the power to define and punish piracy and international crimes, declare war, raise and support armies, provide and maintain a navy, call forth the militia, organize, arm, and discipline the militia, while the states retain the right to appoint officers and train them. And here's the check: Congress can only fund armies for 2 years at a time. Why? To make sure war power didn't become a permanent bureaucracy. Congress also governs the nation's capital. It has exclusive legislative power over Washington, D.C., and over any lands purchased for federal buildings, like forts, arsenals, and dockyards. This was about creating a neutral seat of government, not a separate kingdom for lobbyists and bureaucrats. Finally, we come to the most controversial line, the Necessary and Proper Clause. It gives Congress power to make laws necessary and proper for carrying out the above powers. Not any power they want, not an open door to regulate your life. Madison warned, do not separate text from historical background. If you do, you will have perverted and subverted the Constitution. This clause was meant to support limited government, not destroy it. Article 1, Section 8 is the line between liberty and tyranny. These powers were meant to be specific, limited, and constrained, because the founders understood something too many in DC have forgotten. When you give government unlimited power, it will take everything. But when you hold it to the chains of the Constitution, you keep the republic. Want more breakdowns like this? Hit like, drop a comment, and subscribe to WTF Republic. Share this with someone who thinks Congress was meant to rule like kings, because we, the people, were never supposed to be ruled.